Hi guys, welcome to today's deck profile. Today we are going to do a deck profile for Aggro Nightmare. This is a friend deck, so shout out to Wesley for lending me his deck. I've played against his deck and I've played with his deck for a while. And I find that his deck is very solid, and yeah, it's a very good deck for beginners. So the deck itself doesn't have a very high learning curve. So with that, let's start off with the main deck. Okay, so let's start with the 1-drops. So for the 1-drops, we have 3 Aimling Wraith, right? 3 Skeleton Fighters, 3 Goblin. These are the followers for the 1-drop. Why he plays so many followers and something that's less in Goblin is because he wants to play a hyper aggro version, and he wants to make sure that he have enough 1-drop in his deck for him to hit the 1-drop during his turn 1, especially when he goes first. So Aimling Wraith comes into play. It deals 1 damage to both players. Basically, it just instantly deals 1 damage to opponent, and 1 mana 2 attack. That's good enough for him. Crimson Enabler, which is very strong for this deck because his deck is a heavy Crimson deck. His deck relies heavily on Crimson, my bad. And with that, Skeleton Fighter as well. If Crimson is active for you, Fanfare, +1/+1 when it enters the battlefield. So it gives +1/+1 is if you're Crimson active when you play this. This card is a good turn 1 card. At the same time, it also can be technically a turn 2 card as well. 2 mana 3/3, which is most of the vanilla 2 mana stats. Just to make sure that you do have Crimson activated. Alright, for that. So Skeleton Fighter is a very flexible card going turn 1 play or turn 2 play. Both is good. Goblin is just because he wants to hit the amount of 1-drop. So 1 mana 2/2, take it as a 1 mana 2/2 base. Alright, and then for the 1-drops draw engine, he played 3 Diabond and 1 Soul Conversion. Before that, he used to play 2 Diabond and 2 Soul Conversion. However, he finds that his deck relies heavily on Crimson, therefore he goes for 3 Diabond. So Diabond effect is when it enters Fanfare, it deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. Alright. Also, while it's on the field, you can pay 2, tap this amulet, put it to the graveyard, take 1 damage and draw a card again. So basically, this card can enable Crimson twice. Alright, so that's why he played this card. And then Soul Conversion, the reason why he played 1 of this because his deck, he do summon a lot of ghosts. So he finds that if the ghosts die, they are just gonna be wasted. So he finds that having a Soul Conversion, so when the ghost dies, he can easily change the ghost into resource. So basically, this is destroy 1 follower, draw 2 cards, so that his aggro deck do not run out of steam easily. And for the 2-drops, he play Lilith, 3 Spectra, and 3 Razorly Claw. So I know there's also another Undead Mummy, I think. 2 mana 2/2 evolve 3/3 strike summon a ghost. If that necro charge 10, the mummy gains storm. However, he finds that when he's going second, especially, he finds that the Crimson will deal too much damage to him, and he will need Lilith ASAP to maintain the board. So he feels that Lilith is better than Mummy. At the same time, Lilith Fanfare, he put a bet in the EX area. That's more resource for him as well. Alright. And then next he play 3 Spectra. So Spectra might not seem like an aggro card. However, this card is very important in the deck right now because a lot of decks, especially Dragon, they are playing a lot of big wards followers for against aggro deck. So Spectra is here to answer those big wards. Even though he's playing 3, I do find that Nightmare needs more of cards like this. However, in the set they do not have any more cards like this as of now. And then next he play 3 Razorly Claw. Razorly Core is a staple in Aggro Deck because it's 2 mana, deal 3. It's flexible, it can deal to follower, it can deal to face. Alright. However, you do take 2 damage from it, but the 2 damage enable your Crimson as well. Crimson is when you take damage during your turn. So it's not really say a bad card, you know, taking the 2 damage. It might help you even more. Alright. So therefore, Razorly Claw 3 staple. Next, you play 3 Playful Necromancer. So Playful Necromancer evolve is summon 3 ghosts. The ghosts can go for face, or you can trade the bot. So going second, he can answer the bot, give back the tempo. Or going first, he can evolve this and swing 3 ghosts into the face. And if this didn't get removed, if I remember correctly, it becomes a 4/4. So basically, that's 7 damage to face. That's a lot of damage. And then 3 Phantom Howl. Alright. Phantom Howl. 3 mana summon 4 ghosts. So just take it as a 3 mana deal 4 damage. This is how good this card is. And the damage can be split into different follower or face as well. So this card is a staple. Next, he plays 3 Chris Executioner. So Chris Executioner is played because currently Aggro Blood do not have, Aggro Nightmare do not have a lot of, they do not have all these cards that answers your opponent cards efficiently. Alright, so this is another way to answer opponents answer efficiently. So if opponent have a card that counters your deck hard, like Shenlong or Lucifer, what Crazy Executioner does is he evolve this. It deals 2 damage to you, basically enable Crimson as well. And then you can choose a card in your opponent's hand and discard it. At the same time, you can see what your opponent have in hand and play around it. So I find this card to be very strong in a Aggro Nightmare deck as well. So 3 of this. And lastly, for the 3 drops, 1 Path to Budgetary. So this card right now has been seeing a lot of play. Not because for the second effect, it's because of the first effect, 3 mana, take 3 damage, draw 3 cards. So the drawing 3 cards is very, very strong for every deck right now. And more so in aggro deck because they want more resources to kill their opponent. The second effect is just a plus. If you manage to hit it, it's good. If not, it's alright. The second effect is if you have 6 HP or less, tap this, put this in the graveyard, deal 6 damage to all your opponent follower. So if it does do it, yeah, it's alright. But more importantly, the draw 3 is the more important for all deck right now. At the same time, the deal 3 damage to yourself actually helps Crimson Nightmare a lot. So therefore he play one of this. Yeah, you won't want to play more than one of this because Aggro Nightmare do not have a lot of mana. Usually your game ends about turn 7, turn 8. If by then you know, during those time after you play 1 Path to Budgetary, you usually do not have more stuff to play after that. Therefore, you do not want to jam yourself with too much Path to Budgetary in your hand. So with a lot of Crimson Enabler, he plays this Dark General. So Dark General has been seen increase, right? Recently there's an increase of people playing Dark General back again because people find that the Crimson build for Aggro Nightmare is the stronger one, and Dark General basically is a 4 mana 5/5 Storm. So yes, it does need a way to enable Crimson, but most of the time you will enable Crimson almost every turn from the cards you play. So this, you just take it as a 4 mana 5/5 Storm, and this card would be very, very good. Alright. You know, imagine just playing a swipe on turn 6 with Dark General. This is basically 8 damage in 1 turn. That's very scary. And then for the last 4 drops, he plays 3 Cerberus. Alright. Cerberus here is used differently to a mid-range Nightmare deck. So mid-range line meta deck, their Cerberus is used to trade the board, clear the board. However, the way Cerberus, which I still see people not doing it correctly with especially with Aggro Nightmare, is that if you are not gonna die soon, basically you're not your HP is not gonna reach 0 soon, you want to get the buff token instead of the deal 2 damage token. Alright, it's because the +2 attack is what gonna win you the game. The -2 attack is just gonna drag the game. And as an aggro deck, you want to win the game fast, not drag the game. And with that, his last 2 card, 2 Alucard. Basically, this is another Storm card. 7 mana, 4/4. The strike deal 4, heal 4 is quite alright for his aggro nightmare. But most likely this card is normally used for the Storm. And Necro Charge 10, it gains +2 attack. So late game this becomes a 7 mana 6 damage Storm. And because he got so many Storm, that's why his Cerberus choose to play more +2 attack than to clear the board. Because he got a lot of Storm followers for him to buff. Alright, so this is for the main deck. Okay, so let's move on to the Evolve deck. So 10 cards. So the first card is a deck that, you know, we were discussing how to play it. I mean, if you see my old video, this is a very special card. So in an aggro deck, if you play Goblin, you can play one of this. No one is gonna expect a Evolve Goblin because it costs 2 mana to evolve. However, it's 2 mana for 2 attack, which kind of seems fine. So it can catch people off guard. Alright, so play one of this, just one. You won't want to play more than one because this card hardly comes out. And then he plays 2 Lilith. So yep, Lilith is for him to trade, to heal because of the strike. You just gain +2 health to your leader. And then he played 2 Crit Executioner. Alright, basically to remove stuff. You don't need more than 2 because most of the time you won't be hitting 3 as well, and you won't have if you are removing your opponent's hand more than once, usually that means you are quite behind in game. 2 Evolve Playful Necromancer. Summon 3 Ghosts. I mean, you can choose to reduce the Goblin for 1 more of this. It's up to your personal preference. And then 3 Cerberus, mainly just because you want the +2 token buff. So every time you evolve, if you know you're going to go to late game, you will want to fill your board with a lot of the +2 attack buff instead. And then once your opponent taps out, it gives you a chance to Storm, give you a chance for you to attack with Storm. That's where you buff all in and swing his face for a lot of damage. Basically, here can have 8 damage. Or 10. Actually can we have 10, you can have 5. But most of the time you'll be around 4 to 6. You know, most of the time you will hit 8. 10 is very, very hard, but it's possible for your EX area to fill with a lot of +2 attack tokens, enough for you to kill your enemy. Therefore, he runs 3 of this. And with that, this is the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy it. And let me know what other deck profile. I mean, I won't have any more deck profile for a while because the next set will be coming out, BPO2 coming out when this video out, maybe a week or 2. And with that, I might make a video once the new set come out, the meta change. Then I'll make another deck profile. And with that, thanks for watching.